like to write music more quickly? The whole point of the KeyLab is not only to give you physical controls where you may lack them from your computer, but also the KeyLab and Analog Lab together, the two Arturia software and hardware things, kind of unify. And there's a sort of workflow trick that Tom, who's repping Arturia, is going to show you in this video. Tom, what is the magic way that we can use a KeyLab to write music more quickly?
Well, the kind of the magic trick with the KeyLabs is how tightly integrated it is with Arturia's software, and also how tightly integrated it is with third-party DAW. So we're using Ableton as an example here. And what I've got set up is just kind of three different sound engines. So I've got a stock Ableton plugin, I've got a drum kit, and I've also got Analog Lab. Now, Analog Lab is the piece of software that comes with the KeyLabs. You get Analog Lab Intro, I believe, with these. And the beauty of Analog Lab is it collects all of Arturia's instruments and presets and distills them down to a really super easy to use and navigate space. So what I really wanted to show was A, how well this is integrated with Analog Lab and how quick it is to find sounds, and B, just how you can be almost mouse free with the setup and get creating like little bits and pieces, little jams, that kind of thing. So yeah, I've got Ableton Live running in this session, and it's really, really easy to navigate Ableton Live. So you've got a DAW script that actually is part of Ableton. So you've got to make sure that you're running the latest version of whatever DAW you're using. So this does have scripts for Ableton Live, Bitwig, Cubase, Logic, you know, you name it, it's probably there. And the script allows you to kind of navigate the UI really, really quickly. It also allows you to navigate Analog Lab really, really quickly. So I've got an Ableton Live session here with 3 tracks, just for the purposes of this demonstration. I've got a stock Ableton plugin. I've got an 808 kit, which is another stock Ableton plugin. I'm also running an instance of Analog Lab. So Analog Lab is a piece of software that comes with the KeyLab. So you get an Analog Lab intro with it. And effectively what Analog Lab is like a greatest hits of all the presets. So it just
sounds.
It's just sounds. So, you know, we're talking about being able to get stuff done quickly. This is a really good example. So I'm going to just go to the DAW control. So you do that by pressing program, bank number 2. So now it's going to be in the DAW script. So I can now navigate to that track. As you can see, I'm now in Ableton. So let me just arm that track. And then if I go program, pad 1. So now you can see,
oh yeah,
I can scroll through the sounds. Okay.
So you can see this on your screen. It's saying pad, lead, keys, bass. So I guess if the keyboard was off to the side, you can see that. But also, as you're sat in front of it, you can actually just control the plugin without taking your hands off the keyboard.
Yeah, totally. So the idea is that you can almost kind of close the laptop to a degree and just sort of invest yourself in the sound. So because this is an Arturia controller, obviously, the controls are really well mapped and the navigation's really great within Analog Lab. So what kind of sound do you want to look for? What do you fancy?
Dark bass.
Dark bass. Okay. So
just my vibe.
If we go bass, okay, so yes. And then
you picked bass, and now it's showing you all of the bass sounds, but like from all of their various synths, not just like one type.
No, not just one type. So as I'm kind of scrolling through here, let's go to hard bass.
Fair. A fair point.
Okay, so as you can see, as I'm going, let me pick like a different one. It will change the instrument.
So can we hear it?
Yeah, sure. So let me go, let's just find voltage, which is an Oberheim.
Yeah, I get it. So the whole, like, you're just picking sounds.
Yeah, so the idea
is... It's a full synth engine that's running, not a sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are lucky enough to own V Collection or the individual plugin, you can go in and edit that sound further if you wish. You do have some rudimentary controls for each preset, as I mentioned. So these knobs and encoders are normalized to certain functionalities within that instrument. So
we can see what they are.
So we can actually turn up the brightness, timbre.
Oh yeah, nice. So the sound design has gone to the trouble of mapping these controls for you. So you can just quickly go.
Yeah, I like that sound, but I wish it had more of this.
Movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got like just enough to have fun with without...
Well, you've got a reverb set. It's also worth noting that that ARP that you're hearing is inside of the controller itself.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
So yeah, do you want a different sound?
Yes, let's get a different sound. I do like that sound. So if you then like reset, how would you then... And presumably... If you like that sound, you could then record a part and then load up another instance of Analog Lab.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you totally could. So I'm going to go to pads and let's go for classic synth pad. And then that one's sweep. Let's turn the ARP off.
Oh, yeah. This is the Jupiter 8. Oh, nice.
Give me some reverb.
There it is. Portamento, long release. Nice.
The other thing that makes the song creation process quicker, other than the ability to scan through plugins and get to sounds fast. Notice that button?
Scale.
It means that talentless schmucks like me that don't understand black and white keys can just go, put it in C minor.
Put it in a scale, yeah.
No, just C minor.
Just a C minor, okay, cool.
Just so I can make moody techno things. But yeah, it does have lots of different scales. It also has a chord mode as well. So
can we hear that? And is it in key as well? Like the chord mode is before the scale?
Do you know what? Let's find out because I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to guess that it's going to be like the polybrute where you hold the chord button, press a chord.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just corrected that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pre-quantizer or scale quantizer.
Yeah, easy.
So when you've got something hand-holding your kind of playing ability and also hand-holding your chord ability as well, that can speed up things a lot as well because you can say, oh, I've got something that's like kind of dark, ambient and moody, or it's probably minor. I want a pad that's a bit like this, so you can just go get to it quickly. So navigating sounds.
What we didn't, I suppose the key distinguisher we're saying here is what you didn't do was we didn't just open up a synth plugin
and start
from scratch and go, okay, well, let's create a synth sound from basics. You accept the fact that there's a really good synth sound in here and you just get it fast.
Yeah.
You record with it because, as you say, you can actually load up the full instance of the plugin if you own it.
Yeah, you totally can. So
you can later go in and finesse and fine tune.
Let me see if I can get that to work because, full disclosure, brand new computer and I don't know if I've got all of the plugins installed yet, but let's see. So if we go for an atmospheric pad that is... What is that? That's the Jupiter 8. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't see it properly.
You get edit preset.
Edit preset. And then there is... Where is it? It is... you can open Jupiter 8. And then you've got it here. And there you go. It's just loaded that instance and it's...
So then if you... Oh, look, you can see the cutoff moving.
Yeah.
So you can do this because you own Jupiter 8V, basically.
Because I'm lucky enough to own the plugin that it can open that instance. So if we would have got to that preset by ways of kind of experimenting through the navigation and gone, oh God, you know what? I wish it just had a bit more release and that didn't happen to be mapped. We can go in and
you
tweak.
Can go and get it. And the whole idea, just to reiterate, like from a writing process, I'm sold on the idea that you separate the writing from the sound design.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to get mixed up in sound design. And sound design is a critical part of making electronic music. Like some tracks just are sound design. That's like what makes them so amazing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Like, if you've got a good tune, it shouldn't matter what it is written with, if you know what I mean.
No, and I mean, if I'm writing kind of traditional music, which, you know, I don't do all that often, but if I am sitting there writing a track, I will just start with like the kind of the closest thing I can find to the sound I'm looking for, and then go back in.
Because it's way faster.
Yeah, and because, you know, it's using an instance of a plugin that I own, I just drop it in, find it and dial it in. So it just makes it a lot faster.
Separate the writing from the sound design.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
So once you've been through your preset, you've got a sound that you like, you've performed the part and you've done all of that. As I mentioned, it's got really tight integration with Ableton Live. So if you did want to go in and like add a beat, there are some drum sounds in Analog Lab, but, you know, it doesn't specialize in it. Just to show you that I've got an 808 kind of stock Ableton plugin loaded up. I've enabled that track, and then, you know, the pads totally work. Obviously, you can gauge the metronome, you can set loop points, that kind of stuff. But also, quite uniquely, because this has a dedicated Ableton script, I can control aspects of Ableton plugins as well. So that's not...
You were just changing, like, can you see this, like, in the corner, like, the oscillator settings are changing? Yeah.
So, of course, it does an amazing job with Arturia plugins, but it will also work with stock Ableton plugins as well. Particularly handy on something like Wavetable that's quite deep and you want to get really hands-on with it, you totally can.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Write music more quickly. That's the point of this stuff, right? It's like actually get music done. Like, great. Anything else we should know?
That's it, I think.
Well, that's good enough for me. If you enjoyed this, please leave a comment. And ask any questions, of course, if you have them. Links down below to all the gear. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time.